Welcome to Factoring Quadratic Equations. This is the beginning of our new unit, which is going to be on polynomials. And I'm going to make this the first 3 lessons of the unit. So this is a refresher from Algebra 1. And I want you guys to take notes and take this seriously so you guys can be prepared to factor larger polynomials with a degree higher than 2. A degree is the largest exponent on a polynomial. In this first video that we're going to look at, we're going to go over what is called the zero product property. And then I'm going to do 2 examples of the zero product property. This will also help you in guidelines with solving the questions for homework number 5, which is posted on Google Classroom. The zero product property. Here's the definition. Suppose if you have m and n, and there are factors of a polynomial, and the product of m and m are equal to 0. Product means to multiply. Then, if m and n is equal to 0, that means that either m is equal to 0 or n is equal to 0. So if you have 2 terms, 2 binomials, 2 polynomials being multiplied to each other and set equal to 0, you can set each piece of the multiplication of the product equal to 0 and solve for the variable. Now here's an example that I already done on the PowerPoint. Suppose if we have the factors of x minus 3 being multiplied with the factor of x plus 5. Both of those are being multiplied to each other and they're set equal to 0. Because they're set equal to 0, you can set each piece individually equal to 0 and solve for x. So that is step 1. Set both factors equal to 0. Step 2. Solve for x of each linear factor. The first one is x minus 3 equals to 0. You want to do the opposite operation. There we have subtraction by 3. The opposite of subtracting by 3 is to add by 3. So we add 3 to both sides. We have x equals to 3. Then, for the other one, we have x plus 5 equals 0. In this case, you want to subtract 5 from both sides to get x by itself. That is the opposite of adding 5. X equals to negative 5. So those are the solutions to your quadratic equation, negative 5 and positive 3. So in these next 2 examples, we want to look at how to find the solutions of x using the zero product property. And we must satisfy the following conditions. Example 2 says, find the solutions to the following. You have negative 2x minus 7 being multiplied with 4x plus 10, and it is equal to 0. Because we're multiplying and it's equal to 0, we're going to set each piece equal to 0 and solve for x. So we're going to have 2x minus 7 equal to 0. And then we're going to have 4x plus 10 equal to 0. Let's solve for x. For the first one, to solve for x, we want to add 7 to both sides. The 7s cancel each other out. Let's do that canceling again. And now what we're left with on the other side, we're left with 2x by itself. And 0 plus 7 is 7. Then you want to get x by itself, but there's a 2 being multiplied to the x. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. Once again, we want to get x by itself. The 2 simplify each other out. And now what we have left is, I can't use black because that's dark already, x is equal to 7 over 2. That is the first solution of the equation. And if you can reduce the fractions, you should definitely reduce your fractions. Now let's do it for the other one, solve for x. To get x by itself, we're going to subtract 10 from both sides. The 10s cancel each other out. So we're left with 4x equals to, that's going to be negative 10. 0 minus 10 is negative 10. To get x by itself, I need to divide both sides by 4. So let's divide both sides by 4. The 4's simplify each other out. So we have x, which is equal to, now you could put negative 10 over 4, but in algebra, you have to be able to reduce your fractions. That's why it is important for you guys to be comfortable with your times tables. Both 10 and 4 are even numbers. Every even number has a factor of 2. So when I want to reduce my fraction, I can divide 2 from the top and divide 2 from the bottom to have my fraction in its simplest form. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. That is negative 5 halves. So my solution set in this case will consist of the following. The solutions to this quadratic equation in order is going to be negative 5 halves, comma, 7 halves. I like to put them in order. Order doesn't matter, but I like to put them in order. And that is it for this example. Example number 3, same thing. 2 factors being multiplied set equal to 0, and you want to solve for x. So let's set each piece equal to 0 and find the solutions. So that's going to be 5x minus 7 equals to 0. And then the other one is going to be x minus 143 set equal to 0. The goal is to solve for x. And also, I want to point this out. When you're solving for a variable in this fashion, you're going to do the order of operations in reverse. So you know how the order of operations goes: parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, whichever comes first, left to right, addition or subtraction, whichever comes first, left to right. You're going to go in the reverse of that order. So you're going to start with, can you add first? Can you subtract first? Then you're going to see if you can then multiply by something or divide something. Then you want to rid your exponents if there are any exponents left. And then finally, look inside the parentheses if there are any parentheses. So that is why we always do the steps in reverse. Now, once again, we are subtracting 7 here. So the opposite of subtracting 7 is to add 7 to both sides. The 7s simplify each other out. Wrong terminology. They cancel each other out. So we're left with 5x equals positive 7. And then to get x by itself, we want to divide both sides by 5. Because the 5s will simplify each other out. And we're left with, for the first one at least, x equals to 7/5. Now for the next solution, we want to get x by itself. So we're going to add 143 to both sides. Because we have subtraction here, let's add 143 to both sides. These two cancel each other out. And now we have x is equal to 143. And because x is already by itself, that is the solution to this question. Well, to that part at least. So my solution set for this problem is negative 5 halves. Oh, sorry. Looking at the last one. Let's erase that. The solution set to this question is 7/5, comma, 143. Let me put the little curly braces to indicate that is a set. All right, so that is it to how to use the zero product property when it comes to quadratic equations. We're going to be using the zero product property in every video. So it is essential that you guys understand how to use it now. So what you can do is you can open up your worksheet and try questions 1 through 4, which involves the zero product property. And you can also reference the solutions to what I did on this PowerPoint. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.